Hello and welcome back to the back nine of round one's coverage for the 2021 CCR Open here at the Devil's Den. I'm joined here by Wes. How we doing, Wes?
Doing great. Excited to watch this back nine.
Yeah, we had a great front nine here. Only Chandler with an OB bogey on hole 7, but everyone else staying clean there. And Reid really the only one who missed a couple conversions, but everyone putting a good pace on here in the weather, looking to try to get that maybe 8 to 10 down if they could. Would be a fantastic round as they approach the back nine here.
Yeah, we see these guys pretty close in score too, which is always exciting. Hole 10 is a par 3. We switched this up a little bit from 2019. This one's 364 feet. These guys are either going to go big forehand for the righties, just a hyzer for Reid, but you kind of want to throw at that tree that we just passed on the right there and let your disc just hyzer past it and scoot up to the green here.
I like this change a lot from 2019. This is the one part of the course where holes kind of meet one another between 8, 9, and 10, and playing it in the short position really keeps them out of each other's way quite a bit.
Yeah, this was a change for flow and for the spectators as well. The long basket is just a little too close to the road in the crowd there, so we wanted to give these guys still a challenging hole, but make sure that they could play it safely.
Yeah, this 360 is no joke. It's still, I would probably say 8 to 10 feet still uphill, probably overall, so you still kind of got to thump one out there, and there's a lot, even though there's no OB on the left, there's still quite a bit of woods that can trip you up.
Yeah, you don't want to find yourself in that left rough. You can find yourself in there and really not have a putt, and for these guys, they definitely want to at least have a putt at this one to get the 2. Looks like Chandler is going with that green force again, and he is going high and wide and trying to swing the backside of this. Very safe play. It kind of takes that rough on the left out of it, but will often leave you with a little bit longer putt.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't love about the play is that you're forcing yourself almost into a C2 unless you can spike hyzer and throw in 100 feet in the air the whole way, because that's really the only way you can cut that tree close enough.
Yeah, we see Marwede and Joel both going with the forehand. Both very forehand proficient players.
Marwede there left his a little too low, so he's left with this very long putt. He had a great line on it, just left it too low. He's going to have this probably 50, 55 footer.
Oh, and just catches a branch. It looked like late there. Kind of knocked him off course.
Yeah, definitely one he wanted. He's definitely a hole he was expecting to convert on. He just outside circle.
Oh,
he just does a little tickle.
See a lot of players going to that step putt just outside the circle, more so recently.
I think it's a good change too. It's very different for those of you who don't jump. Like that's right there where we saw Chandler do. That's a jump putt. Like he's physically jumping himself forward in order to convert that. The step putt is very much like your normal putt. You're just not stopping yourself from going forward. So it's just like your circle one, just 10% more power. And I think a lot of players like that.
Oh, and Joel dancing on the basket and in.
That made me nervous. Whole way there. Give yourself a little fist pump. I want to see that one again because that was something. On the edge.
Hitting a little high and scoops out of the basket and back in. Goodness. We see Donut in the background there.
What just happened? If you ever come out and watch us film an event, there's a story in itself with how Donut and I talk to each other without saying a single word, just our facial reactions to watch how people putt and stuff.
Some bonus entertainment. This hole coming in at 2.99 on the day. We see one birdie, so scoring pretty true to that.
Yeah, just absolutely. I think it's a good change. Played exactly a par. Weather probably helped a little bit with that, but it was a good change, I think.
Yeah, hole 11 is a very difficult par 4. This was the third most challenging hole on the day, 732 feet. Players kind of have some options off the tee, whether they want to go driver or fairway or even mid-range, possibly off the tee. Really, you want to set yourself up kind of at the bottom of the hill and then have a straight approach shot from there of about 400 feet. This one is a very difficult par 4, but at 732 feet, well within the range of these players.
Yeah. I'm going to give every single pro here the keys to the city for this hole. Okay, you ready for this? Don't throw a distance driver off the tee.
You said it.
Throw mid-range. I mean, I think this is a fairway from Joel, and this is an aggressive play.
This is his destroyer.
Is it really? It looks so thin-rimmed. So That's the mistake I'm gonna say is from throwing a distance driver trying to attack, where you see the tree kind of come into the fairway. Everyone like thinks that they should or can land there. That's a tough gap to hit. Just throw a mid range into the open gap, and then try to use your power to try to attack from there. You're gonna take birdies way more often.
Yeah, we do see, as we should mention, there's OB left down to that long grass. You have OB right just about the whole way, too. So very difficult hole.
Yeah, he's throwing flippy here, too. And this is, got caught by that tree, but it's going to land to the left of it in the fairway. So he'll have
That's a great roll.
Yeah, he'll have an open look from there.
That's a very common play. We see a lot of people hit that big pine tree that's in the middle there. This does set up really well for the forehand if you have a big forehand like Marwede does.
Yes, I love this play.
Got to get up.
This is flipped over a little bit too much, but he can sneak through.
And he does. Oh, no.
Hit the base of the tree and immediately went left, and he is not going to come back.
That was so unfortunate.
He's going to be in a tough spot.
Another foot or two, and he is in prime position there.
Yeah, foot short or foot longer, he'd have been fine. The Reid trying to get really aggressive and try to cut the corner here, and I think he, I think for this hole specifically, I think people are getting their eyes are a little too big for the hole. I think they need to just club down and just take their medicine. I think this is a hole where you're either in our position for a birdie or you're not.
Yeah, and we see that kind of with the scoring, averaging a 4.78 on the day. This one's just a good 4 to get. You see pros a lot of times, as you mentioned, kind of going for more on this one, and it seems to cost them. That's where you can get into 5 or even more territory.
Yeah, and the only reason I'm saying this is I'm a bad player. Let's be real here, right? Like compared to what the rest of these guys can do, I'm not as good as them. But for me as my player, because I don't have the power they do to try to attack that gap, I'm already throwing something softer into the gap, throw it up short. I almost rarely take a 5 because I missed my 20-footer. That's to see these guys who have way more power than me, it's like just throw it where I throw the first shot, and then you guys can actually reach the basket from there. Like you should do that. And so
yeah, I think there's a lot of value to playing that safer first shot and putting the emphasis more on the second shot instead of going for the big drive,
especially with the OB, because there's no OB deep.
Correct.
So if you put yourself in a great spot short, you can mess up the second shot all you want and not get an OB penalty for it, and all you got to do is scramble the up and down. So
absolutely.
What is that post? I'd never seen that.
It is a arrow to the next tee pad.
Is it really? Okay. I just recognize it now. I don't remember seeing it at all in editing.
Just in case you get lost.
Yeah. This way.
You see, Joel, I think this is his signature whale.
Mm-hmm.
Giving it a little half bid there.
Yeah.
And I believe that was for his par.
I think that was his first birdie, actually. I think his first shot went under the tree, second shot there. I think that's his third. I could be wrong. We're going to find out. When he taps in, we'll find out.
Yeah, this is a long hole.
Yeah,
we're getting a little lost here.
Yeah, there's been a lot of shots. I know Marwede went OB. That just razzled us right there.
That kick was pretty dirty.
Yeah, that was poor.
Oh, and he thought he
got it.
He was walking it in, but just a little deep.
Rude. When Reid walks in a putt, you should go in. Oh, and he left it wide again.
No.
And this is, this little molehill here that you got, it's going to leave you with a 20-footer every time.
Yeah, you see the basket's about at eye level for Reid.
To be able to get that one for the double. Got away from him a little bit there.
Yeah, after 6 and 7, this is the toughest hole on the course.
Definitely on the back nine is the toughest hole.
Yeah, absolutely. And scores as such. Really can't call it a par 5. It's just a difficult par 4.
Yep. Definitely birdieable. We had 2 birdies here in round 1. Shout out to Garrett Gerthy and Silver Lot. And I know what Garrett Gerthy's play on this hole is because they're right behind us, so I watched it happen. So I'm not the only one who has this opinion. I'm just saying.
He takes routes a lot of people can't take. We got hole 12 is a par 3 here at 269 feet. There is OB on the right. Players are going to want to go either this right gap or this gap that the drone is flying through a little bit inside here. We cleared out a little bit behind this basket this year just to make the putt a little bit scarier, but all of these guys are going to want to get this one.
Yeah. In Michigan, there's a lot of poke and praise. This is by far, this This is so fair that I have trouble calling it a poke and pray, because there's a pure line you can hit, which Joel just did. But if you happen to miss a little on the inside, it's a kind of a poke and pray, and you still have a chance. And so I love this hole. It's just so fair, and I love it. There it is right there. Chandler left a little inside, and he still hit a fair gap, and he's up there for a putt.
Yeah, this one gives the player some options. In 2019, we saw a lot of people throw the big high spike hyzer. Mm-hmm. We see those first two shots taking the right gap, and then Chandler taking the little bit more inside gap. And it looks like Marwede will go through the right gap here.
Yeah, a little high, but luckily he's as tall as the basket, so he can putt that.
Mm-hmm.
Reid's going to go with the forehand. How long does that OB go up for on the right side?
OB goes pretty much the entire right side.
Okay. So don't turn it over.
You really just don't want to catch early. It scares people maybe a little bit away from the hyzer. We see these guys kind of going up the more intended fairway.
Mm-hmm.
Reid will still have a putt here. This is pretty uphill, a good 10 or 12 feet uphill at least.
Yep. Can't tell from the camera, but it is way up there.
What a putt.
That's a great recovery after a double bogey.
Yeah, we mentioned all of these guys want to get this one, so Reid definitely wanted to put that one in, especially after the last hole.
Hole plays as the easiest hole on the day, so definitely one that they feel like they need to get. Averaging almost a third of a stroke under par.
We see the first two guys capitalize.
That's pretty good indication that we're going to get a star frame. I shouldn't say that. Where's the wood to knock on? Okay. There we go. We got it. We figured it out. We won't tell them that that's a plastic table.
3 for 3. Can Marwede finish it off? I believe, would this be our first star frame?
It will be our first star frame if Marwede can convert it. And he does. We did it.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the easiest hole on the day, and all of these guys capitalize on this one. Executed perfectly. Hole 13 is a little bit shorter par 4 for these guys at 515 feet. The first shot, though, is going to be a placement shot. For the righties, they will throw a turnover. We may see a putter, mid-range, or fairway. The ideal landing spot is right about where the drone is flying here. If you can get a little bit more to the right without getting in the rough, it'll give you a straight look up this tunnel to the basket. But we do have the OB sand trap just past the basket, so if you get a little too aggressive on the approach, that can come into play.
I love that, the moon OB behind it so much, because every single time a player throws it, they go, uh-oh. You hear it every time. It's like, don't go in it.
It's probably the most famous of the OBs
I know,
on
yeah.
the course.
Oh. Horrible first kick. Fantastic second kick. He's not in position really for that birdie, but, I mean, that could have been way worse.
Yeah, he didn't seem too mad about it. You see Chandler going with his buzz.
This looks really good. Yeah. He
Perfect.
can see it. Yep.
You'll be looking right up that tunnel, right where you want to be.
This is a really safe forehand shot. It's hard to get that far with it, though, up to attack that.
You do have to get it a little bit higher, but there is an OB bunker on
The right side.
the right side, and he won't get that far.
Yeah, left a little short of it. He's going to be able to see, but he's going to be a little farther back from Chandler.
In another hole with some options, you can get aggressive off the tee, or you can play a little bit safer like Andrew did there, and then have a little bit longer approach.
Whoa, he went up real high.
Reid doing Reid things. Oh, and he scoots out of the OB bunker. That was fantastic.
Thank you, rain. I think that's the only time I'm going to say that ever in a tournament, is packing that sand a little bit harder.
Yeah, that firmer sand helped him out there.
Whew.
We see Joel way back, but he is going for it.
This is his Firebird. This is why I remembered it from early in the round, is because I'm like, wait, he threw that another hole. And this is what I thought about right there.
He's going to be about 60, 70 feet short, but he'll have a straddle look for it if he wants.
Yeah. I mean, he's going from guaranteed par to maybe a birdie look, so that's a great shot from where he was.
Oh, and Andrew hangs it a little too far left there and catches the rough.
Yep. AVR3 a little too stable or not quite wide enough. I'm not quite sure selection-wise there, but he's going to be very short. And Reid just too tight.
Kind of doing the same thing as Andrew there. This is a pretty tight hallway at the entry point, and then it opens up a little bit from there. But again, really big emphasis on having a good tee shot to set up the second shot. Chanimal going with his breaker.
And he literally says it out of his mouth. Uh-oh. Because he thought of that crescent moon was going in that direction. I mean, he left it short because of that. And he still said, uh-oh.
He'll only be about 15, maybe 18 feet there.
Yeah, I think that's just a layup. I think Joel's saying, you know what? Don't do anything silly. Don't put it in that crescent moon.
Yeah, you turn that forehand over a little bit, it comes into play really quickly.
Reid has probably the best putt for this of all time because he's putting away from the crescent moon on his fade. So it's just like free run.
Definitely does help.
Marwede, on the other hand, complete opposite problem.
Just kind of gives it a lofty half bid.
Yeah.
Again, as you mentioned, I think these guys are a little bit scared of that OB. They don't want to take an unnecessary stroke there.
I don't think they want to take that stroke on camera. I think that's like, well, I don't want to be the one guy.
And Chandler's putter stays hot. He's been putting great this round. We see him sitting at -7, capitalizing on a birdie there. Just really had a great drive, great approach shot. Played this hole well.
You know, and walking into this point, when they started the round and people were, you know, about half the MPO field was done at this point, and maybe a little less, but like -7 was really hot. So like Chandler, you know, with 5 left to play, being at -7 has put himself in a great spot to finish strong and in a good position for this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Hole 14 is a par 3, 351 feet. Players have a couple options here. We've seen some people in the past go high spike hyzer over those trees way on the right, but the intended play here is this fairway. We'll probably see a couple of forehands, I imagine, from Marwede and Joel. This basket again sits on a little bit of a mound here, or maybe a lot of bit of a mound.
Yeah. It's trickier than it looks too, because it definitely drops off towards the woods. So if you go in the woods, you're going to be not in a great spot.
Yeah, you do not want to go past this basket in the rough.
This looks spicy if it stables up a little bit.
See Chandler, I think this is his vulture. He's going to be about circle's edge, but up on the hill there.
Yeah, that's a great shot. The hole averaged almost exactly par at 2.98, so definitely played to its par in these conditions. And you were right with Joel. He's throwing a forehand here. He's going to be a little ahead of Chandler there. Probably in circle 20, maybe 25.
Yeah, cuts in just a little bit soon, but got past that big tree there at the end, which is what you want to do.
Reid was by far the smartest person because this was the worst mosquito spot on the course. And he's just like, I'm not going in there, guys. You guys can all throw, and then I'll wait and let Zach suffer for 5 minutes before I go back there. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Andrew goes into the rough a little bit there, but he'll still have a putt. He didn't go in too far.
I did not expect this from Reid. He's trying to play the straight gap, I think.
Interesting.
I thought he would have shot that exact same shot to the left gap.
This sets up great for a lefty hyzer.
Yeah, I mean, just... and maybe he missed the line, but it looked like he was intending to kind of turn that over a little bit more. That might have been a scorch. So I think he was hoping that thing was going to flip over a little bit more, and then the conditions or whatever happened just didn't quite work out.
Yeah, we see Chandler pick up his mini quick. He knew out of his hand that one
No
wasn't great. He had a little bit of a low ceiling there, too.
This is very obstructed. Like, Marwede has to, he had to throw that over the bush. It's not like a normal putt. You had to throw it up and over and still try to put it on target. That was a tough putt for him to try.
Makes the comebacker, though. That's a pro move.
Yeah. Just that confidence of knowing it doesn't matter how far you go. You can make the one that's after that miss.
See Joel looking for the 2, and that's a birdie for Joel. Great forehand off the tee. Great putt.
Yeah, he's kind of pushing up on Chandler here. He's got to make this. He can't afford the second bogey here. This is still a tester. Like I said, that mound is a little trickier.
Ooh, and just catches right side.
He's got a big smile on his face because of it too. He's like, yeah, I know, but it went in. So, but they're going to be racing each other in the last 4 holes here, seeing who can kind of put themselves in the best position.
Yeah, the last 4 holes certainly scoreable.
Absolutely. Probably the most scoreable stretch of the course is the last 3. You know, these next 3 holes and the last hole 18 if you can get that bonus birdie.
Yeah, we say this hole's scoreable, but there's plenty of trouble. Par 3, 344 feet. You'll have OB right with the shared fairway. With hole 11, this long grass on the left is OB. You have the bunker on the right, bunker on the left, and bunker deep. Oh, and we also have OB long of the basket, about 45 feet. So trouble everywhere, but certainly within these guys' range to attack.
I love this hole a lot. I love the long pin here too. Like, you can't pick a bad hole here. It's
Yeah, we felt like this was a good, challenging par 3.
Mm-hmm.
Joel hits that tree. That's a pretty common tree there. I don't think he landed OB, though. Should be safe.
Just short of it, yep. He is okay. And he was very shocked. He threw his gator there, and it didn't hyzer earlier. And he was just talking to it the whole time. I was like, I picked you specifically to hyzer. What are you doing?
We see Chandler. It looks like going, I think this is his buzz, and he's up there in the circle for a putt.
Gosh, throwing a buzz 340. I wish I could do that.
This basket does sit down a little bit as well, so players can really give this a run when they're inside the circle. You see Marwede, that maybe leaks out a little bit early. He's going to test that OB left.
Nope. Safe. He already got an unlucky OB once. He doesn't need another one.
Agreed.
We can just let that one go off.
He'll be able to give that a good safe putt, too. He's not flirting with any OB.
He's not shy about that one.
Oh, and Reid turns this over.
Yeah, he did what he wanted to do on the previous hole. Turn this one over, and
that thing really flipped over on him.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is.
Oh, and a tough second shot. He just caught early there and didn't get any flight on that. He's going to have a real long bid for his par save.
That's a great line, but, just unfortunate here. He's going to walk away with a bogey on a hole that he feels like he can birdie on a regular basis.
Oh, and Joel giving that a great bid. Comes up just a little bit low.
Marwede here. What do we say? 45? Maybe 50?
Mm-hmm.
Put some good action on it. Just short, though.
Yeah, we see that it looked like he was expecting a little bit of a headwind, and maybe it died right on his putt.
Did you see that? He tested the wind with, legit grass. I've never seen him do that before in my life.
Yeah, Channel make sure to put that one home.
If you've ever watched Marwede in playing live, he'll test the wind, but he'll do it. I say that sarcastically. He doesn't test the wind. He'll grab a stick that's a centimeter thick. Obviously will never be affected by the wind. He'll throw it in the air, and then he's like, well, I'm just going to put it anyway into the center of the basket. I've never seen him test wind legitimately before in my life.
Here we see Reid walking away with a bogey. He's not going to be too happy about that one. Definitely not a hole where you want to get a bogey.
Yeah, Marwede there with the par, and not what they expected there, but it, like you said, this hole can kind of surprise you. Played a little over par overall, plus .22, so not surprising that some of them got snuck. The course got them a little bit there, and they walked away with pars.
Yeah, hole 16 here. We have a little bit of a wooded hole, a little bit of a change of pace for this course, 289 feet. This tree just to the left of the drone here is the one to miss. Players want to scoot just past that. It does play slightly uphill. We'll probably see a bunch of mid-ranges or putters kind of into the hillside there.
Mm-hmm. We have the second and third easiest holes between holes 16 and 17, so for these guys, these are must-get birdies for them if they want to, continue to push the pace here and be competitive.
And if you've been having a little bit of a tough round like Reid and you get these 2 holes, you can kind of go out feeling a little bit better about your round.
Absolutely.
Chandler with just a pure mid-range shot there.
He could not have been any closer to that tree either. He was skinny.
And a great forehand from Joel. Forehand maybe a little bit of an untraditional play. The backhand sets up so well here, but Joel's so proficient with that forehand. We're going to see Marwede go forehand as well.
Oh, no. He threw his pig, but it looks like he just didn't commit, and he's going to hyzer out into the trees. Yeah, that's not a good spot.
The rough is pretty thick over there. You do not want to be in that spot.
Got Reid turning it over.
But he stays clean through. About a 40-footer.
Yep. I think he'll be clean to the basket, too. I think he's high enough where he'll see the basket. And this was trouble.
Kudos to you camera guys for getting in there, getting a good line on that one, seeing exactly what Andrew saw.
It was itchy back there, too.
I bet.
I was happy to get out. Reid, oh my.
And he wanted that one.
Yeah, he's great line, just didn't quite punch out.
I wanted that one for him. Par is a great save. Andrew was really in the rough there, so to save a par from there I think was a good result.
But it's Marwede. He thought he should have made it anyway.
Sure.
It's like I should have made the ace. What am I doing? Speaking of ace, hole 17, maybe. That's a good hole for it.
A lot of ace potential.
Yeah, it does. Lots of ace potential. I'm down.
Certainly the most aced hole on the course, 180-foot par 3. It is just a little bit blind with this rough on the right kind of sticking out. We'll likely see a couple forehands or perhaps a putter turnover. It does play as an island hole, but it is a hazard, so if you miss the island, you play with a 1-stroke penalty from where your disc lies. And again, this basket sits up a little bit, just to add a little bit of difficulty to the putt.
Got a question for you.
Yeah.
For, competitors who are playing in this in the future. The barrier here.
Yeah.
You get relief from it?
We added a specific rule to this tournament. You get relief in front of or behind it.
Okay. Because that was I forget who I was talking to. I was talking to a couple of pros after the event, and we were talking about that, about where the OB line would have been exactly like if you had somehow landed on the logs, like what that would have looked like. And it was just it wasn't like a bad conversation. It was just a really unique conversation. Like, what would that look like? How would that be ruled? And
yeah, we have that one at a lot of tournaments. So we added some specific notes to the caddy book and the PDGA scoring as well to try and make it as clear as we could for players.
Oh, and there's a great bid from Reid.
Reid almost throwing it in. It looks like he kind of hit the trees and dropped. He's not missing that one.
All my Crew 42 fans are mad at me. He's like, he said ace. I thought we were someone going to ace here. Sorry, guys. No ace. No ace today on this hole.
No, but it does look like everybody has made the island. Chandler with a confident putt.
He's been so solid all day. He's got to double digits now. He's feeling confident.
Yeah, he putts with the Challenger OS. Joel with a great putt. We're 2 for 2 here.
I don't think these other two are going to miss. I think we have our second star frame of the day.
I think you can pretty much chalk it up.
I think Reid can dunk this one if he wanted to, if PDJ allowed him to, but I think he'll just lay it in instead.
Yeah, that was the third easiest hole on the course, and you can see why all these guys getting the birdie.
Yeah.
Hole 18 is a beautiful finishing hole. We have cleaned up the middle gap here quite a bit this year. We'll probably continue to clean that up a little bit more for next year. Players of the right-handed variety can throw hyzer through the gap and get up to the circle. We may see some over-the-top plays as well, possibly from Reid, I would expect.
Oh, Reid had a great. I'll talk about it when Reid goes to tee.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Yeah, a great moment with him and another player. I like this gap a lot. If you're just not, he left it a little too straight there. I think he wanted more hyzer or maybe a touch softer, but really safe line in general.
Yeah, we see Joel going thumber here, which is a very safe play. You really have to have a monster thumber if you're going to try and get by the basket, but very safe play. Gets you out into the field there.
Cough, cough, Nate Wegren, cough, cough. I want to see you do it. I watched him 430-foot thumber before in person. It was crazy.
Yeah, he would love this shot.
Yeah, he would. He would drool over this. This is not turned over enough. It's got to sit down.
And we've added the OB on the left there in
For
case
that reason.
players don't commit to that turnover. So he'll be looking at a 3 from distance.
He's going to try to do the same thing. He's going to try to turn something over.
Yeah, Reid goes a little bit more inside with the lefty hyzer, but...
Bye forever. That's so far.
Wow, and he's way over in the baseball field.
Is that Luke Taylor in the background? I was like, whoa, what are you trying to get me for?
Jeez.
I'm done with my round. This is Joel with his gators just going to pitch up a forehand, it looks like. Definitely a bonus birdie. A fun hole. Very memorable from Tim Barham back in 2019 with the putt of the year.
Yeah.
Love this hole. The water feature's amazing. Like, there's not a lot to bad to say about this hole. It's so cool.
Yeah, we're going to make a couple changes for next year, like I said, with the middle gap. Not a huge fan of the over-the-top gap. Would rather have a true fairway on this hole, so we'll continue to...
It's still there now, but you are correct. It's a little narrow.
Yeah.
When Reid went to go tee off, Nathan Queen and the other feature card had caught up to us, and so Nathan was talking to him about in practice how he threw this, because he's a lefty as well. He threw this forehand, and accidentally released it a little too inside, and it cut the corner with his wraith, and he put it underneath the basket. And Reid was like, "No, heck no, I ain't doing that. There's no way."
Chandler with a long putt for his par here to finish at 10 down, and he does.
What a round.
Great round, double digits. These guys had a lot of rain, especially in the front 9. It lit up a little bit in the back 9 here.
Unofficial 1070.
1070, fantastic.
I think we have unofficial 1070. That's just disgusting.
You see Joel with a 9 down, keeping pace along the way with Chandler there.
Yeah, Joel Freeman, unofficial 1062. So nice hot rounds to record for our future round. Super good shooting in the rain.
1070 up there with the best rounds filmed?
Yeah, Marwede has our current at 1085 on disc golf day at RCO last year.
Wow.
And don't worry, Chandler asked the same thing. He came up to me, he was like, best round you ever recorded? I went, sorry, Marwede's got that. And he was, dang it, I should have gotten 2 more birdies for you. I was like, oh, sorry. So, but he's going to be our leader for the tournament. He'll be on GK Pro for the lead card in round 2, along with Joel Freeman, Garrett Gerthy, Nathan Queen. And we've got ourselves a stacked card ourselves on the chase card for round 2. And we're super excited to see you guys join us for round 2 when we come back out.
Yeah, we'll be on River's Edge next round. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again to our Patreon followers, and we'll see you then.